magical beings, and welcome to your Wildflower Walk in the Woods. Today we are connecting with these different wildflowers, and we are going to ask Spirit what messages are meant to find us today. What is Spirit trying to communicate with us? So we will be connecting with our beautiful nature spirits, our animal spirits, and Creator. And just connecting intuitively to whatever messages come through, whether it is through the wind, through the water, through the fire, or the earth. Winnie, you're wrecking the piles. I tell you, she gets really into the readings. So there are 4 different flowers to choose from. Our first flower is the beautiful rose clover, Winnie. And the rose clover is known for, in traditional medicine, to heal a wide range of health issues, from hot flashes and arthritis to osteoporosis, to help even to reduce certain types of cancer and to help with blood flow. Sorry, she really, I tell you, wants to be a part of this energy. The beautiful goldenrod is used to reduce all kinds of inflammation, pain, and swelling. It can be used to help with increased urine flow, so it can help heal bladder infections, UTIs, and arthritis, as well as different skin conditions like eczema. And Aster is actually similar to the goldenrod in that it attracts all kinds of different pollinators late in the season because they are a late blooming plant. So they provide all kinds of foods and habitats to all kinds of small animals like birds that can feast on the seeds and actually eat the stalks. So these are very helpful plants for our creatures in the woods. And then we have evening primrose, this beautiful flower here, which actually blooms in the evening and early morning. So it's the early morning right now, which is why it is in bloom. But in the hotter parts of the day, the primrose will actually close up because it can't handle that kind of heat. So it's actually used to reduce all kinds of inflammation and pain. It can help with, PMS. It can help with menstrual cramps. The evening primrose oil alone is very medicinal. It can help, morning stiffness, and it can help to balance our hormones. So it's a very healing plant. You can use these in teas, you can use them in oils. I'm hoping to make some actual wildflower teas and actually have them on our Etsy shop. So hopefully I will have those for order in the fall. And so you can check out our site below, which has mostly healing jewelry, but we're hoping to get some, like I said, teas, tinctures, all kinds of different things. So that's the Wild Mystics on Etsy. So feel free to resonate with one of these flowers, and then I will take you on a walk in the woods and we will connect with Spirit and just our intuition and any messages that are going to come through the animals, through the plants, through our intuition. It's going to be beautiful. So I will see you shortly. Bye. Hello, Rose Clover group. Welcome to the woods. Like I said, today we are connecting with all of our nature spirits and just any guidance and wisdom that's coming through today. So it's incredible because it just rained the entire night. And so everything is this beautiful emerald green. And the leaves are all dripping this beautiful, clear water from their leaves. I don't know if you can see it, but you can hear it. It's very tranquil. So I'm being drawn to this beautiful moss here, group 1. I feel like Spirit is telling you that there is powerful inspiration that is coming your way. Something is watering your soul And it's going to allow you to spread out, to spread your tendrils, your roots, your wings, and it's going to allow you to craft your world in so many new ways. You're going to be able to build from the ground up. And though it may seem as though what you're building is unsteady, it's actually much stronger than you can imagine. Look at all these little conifers here. They are vibrant green. And in the winter, when all the other deciduous are dead, they will still be glowing. And so you, group one, have so much abundance, so much strength and power, actually, so much endurance, that no matter what storm or what winter comes, you will have the power. You will have the energy and the support to actually accomplish what you need. There's this little fire here, and this fire actually hasn't burned since the wintertime. We don't burn in the summer here because there are too many canopies. And so maybe Spirit is saying, maybe you've taken a pause on something that you've been working on. For some of you, Spirit is saying that's okay to have taken that pause. That's okay to have taken that break. Even if it was for like a month or a year or however long it's been, sometimes stepping away from something is important, because when you do, you get that newfound passion, that newfound drive again. When you come back to it, you see it in a new way, a new perspective. And when the rains come to the forest, that's what they do. They encourage all kinds of seedlings to start to pop out from the ground. They encourage the moss to come back to life. A lot of the time, this moss becomes kind of brittle. But now you can see it is soft, it is malleable, it is growing. And there's all kinds of moss growing together. And in the moss, you have even mushrooms. Oh, look at this mushroom. Like, he is slimy. Oh my gosh. Now, mushrooms, that is the fascinating thing about the rain. Mushrooms will pop up after a heavy rain. Okay, so you could go for days and weeks in these dry conditions and seeing no mushrooms. And then after a rain, they all just poop, papooey. They just pop up. And it's just so fascinating to see them all, because there's so many different kinds. And so what is Spirit saying? The mushroom spirit is saying, we are all working together. So your spirit team is actually craving to work with you. Okay? Your spirit team is always in the background, just waiting for you to ask for their guidance and their support, because they are there always waiting to help you. Just like all the trees, all the plants, all the microorganisms, the fungi of the forest, they all work together. That is the beauty of it. A tree cannot grow to its height if it doesn't have the forest floor, if it doesn't have the underground network of little organisms working together and trading with each other. The mushroom wouldn't be able to pop up unless its mycelium it has to reach to all the different forest layers. It's incredible how everything works together. And I feel like you're getting ready to grow. You're really growing something right now. And Spirit is saying, keep going. There is an inspiration. There is a power coming through to you now. As you're entering into this new state of consciousness, Spirit is saying that your perspective is transforming rapidly. And you might be like having a hard time even holding on to your world, because either your world might be falling apart or your world is just changing so rapidly that you don't even know where to put your energy, or if you put your energy in the right place. But by taking the time away and then coming back to whatever it is that you are working on, whether it's a project, if it's a relationship, maybe you've taken a break in a relationship and you're just taking time for yourself. That's important, because you need to focus on all the different elements of your being. We are multifaceted creatures. We're humans, but we're also higher dimensional beings coming into human form to learn and grow and experience this three-dimensional plane in this like Homo sapien body. Right? Like, we are on this magical planet, which appears almost normal to us, but to anyone else experiencing it, it would just seem so alien. And we are, in a sense, alien. Almost otherworldly consciousness experiencing itself. For those of you who resonate with that journey. That's for some of you. For those of you who just feel like, oh, I'm just a human doing my little human thing, that's cool too. We are all here to experience all different facets of reality. But Rose Clover group, the thing with rose clover too is that you can eat the nectar. Like, I love just like munching down on a rose clover. You can just eat it, you know? That's the fascinating thing with wildflowers. There are so many that you can just eat. So you can make a tea with it. There's so many different things that you can do. It's adaptable. It's versatile. So I feel like you're becoming more versatile. You're becoming more open to new situations, to realizing that you can actually adapt and change quicker than you ever thought you could. And this like squirrel has just climbed up this tree and he's like squeaking. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe you, group one, are like, that's right. I can see everything from up here, like a new perspective. Like, I don't need to concern myself with like these old ways of doing things. Like, I have this newfound perspective. I have this new higher position in your life, this higher authority in your life. It's as if you're beginning to trust yourself more and more and more. And that trust is going to develop into such a beautiful relationship between your mind, your soul, and your heart, your ego and your higher self. You're not just letting your ego run the world anymore. You're allowing this intuitive force to come through you and surrender, knowing that there is a power inside you that knows where you're meant to put your energy. So I know that some of these messages are kind of generic, but I really feel like there is this beautiful abundance that you are growing. And it could be in all different facets of your life. And I'm seeing like my dog like way in the distance. And I feel like for so long you've seen like that it's going to be this far off thing. And like one day I'm going to achieve this. But I think it's coming quicker than you know. I think if you just, veer off the path a little, the path of what you thought, the path of predictability, and you enter into that unknown, into that realm where anything is possible, then you open up a myriad of potential realities for yourself, a myriad of timelines where you can actually be and achieve anything that you desire. So, beautiful Rose Clover spirit and group 1 beings that have come here today, enter into that darkness or enter into that unknown realm, because you will be amazed at the magic you find there. Thank you, Group 1, for being here and coming on this walk with me. If you enjoyed this walk, please comment. Let us know if it resonated. Give us a thumbs up. And thank you, spirits. Thank you, nature spirits, for connecting with us today. See you in the next walk or the next reading. Bye. Hello, Group 2. If you chose the goldenrod, this is going to be your walk through the woods. Now, I know it's a little dark and mysterious here, which is kind of the opposite energy you think of a goldenrod. Goldenrods grow out in sunny conditions. They grow in fields and they bloom in the late summer to early fall. And like I said, they have all these different anti-inflammatory properties. They can help with all kinds of, bladder infections, urinary tract infections, and they can really help to clear out the liver and clear out clear out the kidneys. So they're a very healing wildflower, and you can just make them into teas. So they're really easy to use. Not to be confused with ragweed. Okay, so today we are connecting with nature spirits, animal spirits, plant spirits in the woods. So whoever comes through, and we're just getting the messages that are coming through the trees and coming through the air and the water. So right now I'm noticing, group 2, that for some of you, you're feeling maybe a bit stuck. And if you're feeling stuck, just know that the fear and the anxiety are so much larger than the reality of the situation, okay? That's what Spirit is saying. That's what these cedars are saying. Well, some of them are cedars. Some of these are, tamarack and spruce, but it doesn't matter. The point is that these obstructions, these different branches that are in the way are actually, they're dead. They're not actually alive. They're not actually obstructing. They're not really obstructing our path, because we can push them out of the way, or we can move through them. So I'll just bend down, crawl down a little bit, and look, I can just make it through. So it may have looked like I couldn't, and that might be what your reality is saying. You maybe have felt like you've, fallen off the path of what you thought your life would be. You may be feeling like that you've been in this dark patch and you just don't know where to go, because you're just trying to get back to the light. You're trying to get back to a reality that you can ground, that you can understand, that you can connect with, because in the darkness, it's hard to see. It's hard to see with our eyes. But in the darkness, we have to use our other senses. We have to use our sense of smell, our hearing. We have to use our intuition so that we can actually feel the wind. We can feel the shift. So I think, group 2, you're learning to trust that intuition. You're learning to trust those other senses, so that when you do go back into these unknown worlds, this darkness, you don't have to have that same fear. You can have that confidence. You can build that toolkit almost of knowing to trust your intuition, knowing to trust these other senses. Because a lot of it is illusion. You can actually just turn around, or you can just break the branches and find your way out. Because there is a realm of abundance. This moss here, to me, it symbolizes abundance. And after a rain like this, we just experienced a deep, thick rain last night. And so this rain has turned the moss to this vibrant green. And I just see this as incredible abundance. So there is a path of abundance right there in front of you. And it's been there all along. You just had to free yourself from these old patterns, the old thought patterns in your mind that are actually just dead branches to you. Like they're not serving you anymore. They're not fueling you. They're not feeding you. They're just holding you back. And look, there's this abundant energy, craving to be felt, craving to be worked with. I know many of us, look, there's even stepping stones. It's interesting. I never ever wear shoes, but today I felt like wearing shoes because it was kind of wet and I just felt like my feet might get cold because it's a bit cooler today. But there's like stepping stones, you guys. There is the way is already crafted for you. You just have to ask your spirit team, hey guys, I'm ready for you to open up the doorway. I'm ready to walk through. I'm not afraid anymore. Because I know now that all these fears and anxieties, these confusions and even delusions that I've been having, they're all within my mind. And that reality is actually just a little different. Reality opens up to us from what we imagine and what we manifest into being. We do create our own reality in a sense, and we create the abundance that we feel we have. So that's the ticket. We don't manifest what we want. we manifest what we are. So if you are trapped in these dead thought patterns, these old ways of thinking, if you're trapped lingering in the past, then that's what you'll attract more of from the law of attraction. If you focus on, well, I have this abundance, I have this gratitude, I have all this time, I have all this energy, I have all this wealth, because those are the key things, time, energy, and wealth, then you can put your energy anywhere. You have choices and options. Look at this beautiful, beautiful field that we have arrived in. We started off in this thick, kind of dark forest, and look at where we are. I can see, right? We can see where we are. We're in an open field, blessed with wildflowers. Now it is the end of the season, and so a lot of the flowers have shriveled, but that doesn't mean that their essence is dead. They have put all their energy into these seeds, and these seeds for next year will sprout all kinds of new ideas, right? New life. So this particular mullein plant, which grows beautifully in dry conditions, will actually spread her beloved seeds across this beautiful area here. And look, you can see all the mulleins over here. They're such strange plants. They're like little desert beings. So know that you have options, group 2. Know that there are a myriad of options waiting to be explored, okay? And that any kind of fears and anxieties are illusions. Of course, like if you run into a bear in the forest, it makes sense to be absolutely terrified, because you need that adrenaline pumping through your veins so that you can run or fight this creature. That's inherently within our human DNA to be able to survive in these conditions. But in this modern world where we get an email from our boss and our heart starts racing and we want to be sick, that's an irrational fear, because our boss isn't going to come over and eat us, even though it may feel like that. So know that that's an illusion. You have the courage. You are just as valuable as any other person on this planet. You are just as powerful as any other person on this planet. The trees, the moss, everything is striving to grow. Everything is striving to grow as tall and as big as it can, because it wants to spread itself so that it can continue its life into the next season, and so on and so forth. That's what we do. We try to accumulate wealth, accumulate energy, so that we can spread ourselves. So do you want to spread yourself thin, or do you want to spread yourself wide and expansive? Because group 2, you have all the power. You have the yellow goldenrod, which is the solar plexus, the color of the solar plexus. That's confidence, that's power, that's energy. That's the sun waiting to be born inside of you. So I'm so excited for you guys, because there is all of this earthly abundance, this green energy waiting for you. So Spirit is saying, focus on what will bring you joy. Focus on what will bring you more time, more energy, more love, more abundance. Because in the end, what do we need in life? We need time. We need energy to use that time. And we need wealth or abundance so that we can make the most of all of that. But without one of those things, we lack an incredible tool. Without time, we have nothing. Without energy, we can't use our abundance or our time. And without abundance, if you have time and you have energy, well, then you'll be out in the woods a lot, let me tell you. Trying to craft and build a way to live out here and survive. So group 2, you're an incredible group of beings, okay? Strong, creative, powerful beings. And I can't wait for you to tap into that. I can't wait for you to see that brilliant being that you've been all along. If you've been telling yourself that, like, oh no, I'm not good enough, These beautiful maple trees are like, yes, you are. You have all that natural power inside of you already. You just needed to be surrounded. You just need to be put in the right circumstance. You need to put your seed into an area where you know that you'll be able to blossom and grow to your fucking ultimate potential. Because you guys are ultimate potential. So thank you so much for being here. Beautiful goldenrod group, thank you so much. Thank you, beautiful nature spirits, for coming through today. And thank you, our intuitions and higher selves. And I hope that some of these messages resonated. If they did, please feel free to share your stories. If you want to give us a thumbs up, we would love that, because it just helps to connect your energy with us. And it helps to make us feel like we're actually helping others by sharing this wisdom, this plant wisdom. So thank you, and we will see you in the next reading or the next walk. Bye. Hello, group 3. If you chose the Aster Wildflower, this is going to be your walk in the woods where we connect with nature spirits and animal spirits and our higher selves. So I'm being drawn to go into this kind of dark but magical forest here. And the Aster is all about... Oh, Winnie? So the Aster actually blooms in late summer, early fall, and it's the plant that a lot of little creatures can survive off of, because it does bloom so late. So they survive off its seeds and its stems. So it's not necessarily the best healing plant for us, but it's very healing for others. All right, so I'm just like kind of trying to step through these leaves, but it's a bit uneven ground here. But I just came across this beautiful piece of quartz crystal. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So quartz is a cleansing stone. It can heal and cleanse, and it also amplifies energies. So a lot of healers tend to work with quartz crystals because they do amplify the energy of the healer. So I don't know if group 3, any of you guys are healers or you're studying to become a healer, but you may actually have felt the call. And a lot of healers go through a lot of different traumatic experiences with regards to their own bodies, because they need to be able to heal themselves first before they can heal others. So I'm just heading into this kind of dark, eerie forest, but it's not really that scary. It's really quite beautiful. It's open. The trees are spread out in different directions, so I don't feel like whoa, okay. It could be a bit slippery, because after rain, things are a little bit, hazy, right? There's fog, there's mist, everything is kind of wet and slimy. So if you're entering into maybe a new state of being, I feel like you're entering into this new awareness, where you've maybe been in a fog for a while, group 3. And I feel like something maybe happened to you guys. Something maybe traumatic, like a tower moment could have happened. I'm just looking at this birch tree that's kind of split in half here, which is fascinating because there are 2 entirely full, healthy trees. But because they were trying to part from one another, there was this destruction. So maybe you could have lost someone. That's a trigger warning for some of you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry if you've lost someone, group 3. I understand, because I just lost someone this summer, so the grieving process is different for everyone. But even if you didn't lose someone in a sense where they have gone to the other side, you may have, ended a relationship or ended a segment of your life. But what I'm noticing is this tree still lives on, even if this other one has fallen. And the fallen one will actually be nutrients and food for all kinds of future saplings. So just know that this ending, or this loss that you felt, group 3, is not in vain. This experience or this person is going to fuel and inspire so many new ideas and so many people to live their dreams. So I'm entering into this incredibly vast expanse of emerald forest. And most of these trees are maple trees. So in the early spring, they produce this beautiful maple syrup, as I'm sure everyone knows. This thick, dark, beautiful amber, sweet liquid. And so I feel like you guys have been really, really trying to connect with your inner oasis, this inner world that is sweet, that is rich, that is powerful. It's inside of you. And what the tree does is, in the spring, it starts pumping this sweet nectar up its long, I guess I'll call it a shaft, within its bark, and it pumps it into these leaves so that it can actually spread its leaves into the sun and, grow. And so I feel like you're taking all the experiences that you've had, group 3, you're taking all the pain, you're taking all the nutrients, you're taking everything, and you're wielding it into this. You're spreading your wings. Or you're getting ready to spread your wings. Or for some of you, you're going to take all of this experience that you've had, whether it was negative or not, you're going to take it and you're going to gestate on it. Spirit is saying it's okay to take the time away, to separate yourself from the world, to just take a moment to connect with yourself and figure out where it is that you want to spread your energy. And for those of you who feel called to spread your energy now, to use this fuel now, Spirit is saying go for it. But I think that there are some of you that need to take a bit more time to explore your shadows. Because the more we hide away from our shadows, the more we cover up our wounds and hide away from them and suppress our fears and anxieties, the bigger they grow. And so having gone into this darkness, this woods here, and seeing all the veils and the mist and the dead trees, I feel like once you feel grounded enough in yourself, once you feel safe enough in yourself, then it's important that you face those fears and you take a moment to go in to those shadows, because you do have the power. Group 3, I think you do have the power, because as a healer, if you are interested in becoming a healer, you might even want to heal through art or music, or maybe you're a writer. You don't necessarily have to heal medicinally, like through your hands or through plants or through, modern medicine. You don't have to heal in those ways. There are so many different ways to heal the world, to heal ourselves, to heal Mother Earth. And what I've noticed is that if we heal ourselves, we are in essence healing Mother Earth, because we're taking less from her. When we're feeling down and in the dumps, we spend a lot of time, feeling sorry for ourselves, feeling that victim mentality, and we may be just, indulging in other ways to try to make ourselves feel better. And that isn't exactly helpful for Mother Nature. We need to take only that which we need to survive. So I've come to this kind of riverbed, which is completely dried up. Even though it's rained so much, this riverbed is dry. But the ferns are doing well. So for some of you, I feel like you've been looking at other people and maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, like, how are they doing so well? Like, I feel dried up, I feel used, I feel tired, just like this riverbed. And there's all these other beings that are still growing and doing so well. And you're like, how are they still doing so well? What do they have that I don't? And it's not that they have anything more than you necessarily.
It's just that they are maybe seeking the support of others. Maybe you felt, group 3, like in the past, like you've had to go at this alone, like no one can understand you because you've had to go through so much. And when we go into these traumatic experiences, it's true, we feel alone, we feel isolated, like no one can understand us, like our pain is somehow so sacred to us that the only one that can understand us is the pain. And that's why we connect so deeply with trying to almost relive our trauma sometimes. Because that pain makes us feel alive, which is so hard to hear sometimes, but having lived through traumas too, I understand. But group 3, there is a river inside of you. It's not dried up. Like I said to group 2, it's an illusion that you don't have the power. It's an illusion that you don't have the energy. I know when you don't have energy or vitality, it feels like, how can you just manifest this? But you can. It's all about the thought process. Look at this water. All you needed to do is look a little deeper, and there's water. There's abundance. There's that oasis that you've been looking for. You just have to look a little harder because it's there. You just have to try a little bit harder, group 3. You can do it. You can do it because I know that if you shift your perspective, because that's what it's about. It's about shifting your perspective and seeing the world in a different way. Instead of seeing all these beings around you as being better than you or envying them, learn from them. There's something in that. When you see someone doing something that you want to do, that can be a fuel. That can be a fire to you to be like, that's your soul saying, there's something there. When you have an emotional reaction like that, it's your spirit saying, there's something there that I need to follow. So that's really fascinating because I know that for some people, when they see someone doing something so well, it kind of debilitates them. It's like, oh, well, I could never do that. I could never do that as well as them. For me, when I see that, I see it as a challenge. I'm like, they can do it that well? Let me try. Look at these little guys. Come on, group 3, you're going to build something. Whether it's like a healing practice, whether it's a creative expression that's going to heal so many people. I feel like this perspective, this life that you've been living is so valuable. And if you haven't been feeling like it is, if you've been feeling like what's the point, there is so much to live for. There is so much to express. So rise up from the pain, rise up, because you have so much to give. You have so much to share, so much wisdom, so much knowledge, group 3. So much depth, like you are tapping into something that so many people will never get the chance to experience. And that is a valuable gift. So group 3, I hope this wasn't too much of a heavy walk for you guys. I really, really hope that you were able to connect with some of the things I was saying. And if you did, like, please let us know, like, what you're experiencing, or if there's anything that we can do to help. If there's any, like, suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. So give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this walk through the woods, connecting to all of our beautiful nature spirits and all the birds that are singing for you, group 3. The birds are calling you. They're calling you forth. So thank you so much, you abundant, beautiful creatures. Thank you so much, group 3. And we will see you in the next walk. Bye. Hello, group 4, who chose the evening primrose. This is going to be your walk in the woods with spirit, where we connect to nature spirits, animal spirits, and we're just trying to get any messages that you need to hear right now. Any messages from spirit. that you, group 4, need to be aware of. So we're walking through this beautiful deciduous forest. Birch is so beautiful. So I was going to mention to you guys, sorry. So the evening primrose is incredible for healing all sorts of ailments. It has anti-inflammatory properties. It can help with arthritis. It can help with premenstrual syndrome. It can help with balancing out hormones. It can help with all kinds of different cramps. It's very, very healing. So the seeds are actually the medicinal portion of the plant, but you can eat the flowers. And you can make a tea out of the roots. So the entire plant is completely edible, including the leaves. But the leaves are better to consume in the springtime because they become too bitter later on. Oh my goodness, this tree is just stunning. Wow. That is a linden tree. Oh, beautiful. And we also have these beautiful little rock sculptures. What a beautiful portion of the forest. We're surrounded by this beautiful rock wall that was actually created about 100 years ago by the farmers who lived here and worked these lands. But before that, these lands were lived in by the Anishinaabe. So their wisdom is in these lands. And so it's important that we connect with Creator, that we connect with all of the different plants and animals because they have the wisdom, they have the knowledge, they have lived here for hundreds, for even thousands of years, and they know how to survive. We have much to learn. So I just felt like I needed to say that because I feel like group 4, I feel like there is someone that you can learn from coming into your life. I feel like they are going to have valuable wisdom. Just from looking at those trees, those giant linden trees, they've been here maybe for a lot longer. And it could be that you're connecting with your ancestors. It could be that you're connecting to someone, a teacher, a guide, a leader, somebody who can help you. You could even be reading it in a book, the words of a guru who can help to share their wisdom and awaken new perspectives inside you. I'm just being like drawn to these ferns here, which are very primordial in their energy. Now, ferns are some of the earliest plants that have ever existed on planet Earth. And ferns are extremely adaptable, but they do enjoy moist conditions. So it's just had this beautiful rain come through, and I feel like if you've had something that you've been working on, group 4, whether or not it's been a relationship or you've been working on yourself or you've been working on a project, there is so much abundance coming. I'm just looking at this beautiful log here. So out of death comes life, okay, in a new form. And we're seeing that with these mushrooms here. I'm not exactly sure which kind of mushroom they are. I don't want to tell anyone because it could be wrong, but they do look like oyster mushrooms. And then there's moss growing, and there's all sorts of probably little saplings actually growing out of the dead wood here. So sometimes we can grow out of, not sometimes, we grow out of our pain, we grow out of our suffering. We learn from it. Out of death comes rebirth. This is such a magical part of the forest because there is a path to follow. And even though we are surrounded by these dead standing trees, they actually can't hurt us right now because there's no wind. And to me, wind is, when I hear the wind, it almost feels like an anxiety, or it feels like something that's brewing that needs to shake things up so that we have a tower moment. But it's so calm right now. It's so still. And so I feel like all these illusions, they can't really hurt us. Like all these things, these giant trees that, have the potential to kill us if they fell down. Well, they're not even moving. They're not swaying. So maybe our fears and our illusions, we can set them aside for now and just follow the path and go with the flow. Because I feel like for a lot of us, group 4, there is this kind of flow that we're feeling. And there's even markers on this path. A lot of the paths here don't have markers. So you'll know that you're going the right way. There'll be intuitive hits for you. Sorry, I just felt drawn to show you this little stone spirit here. It's actually standing, even though like the point between the two feels like it would fall over, it's actually quite sturdy. So even if something feels like it's a bit precarious or it's a risk, there's actually a lot of support behind the scenes. So I feel group 1, there's a lot more support than maybe you feel. So connect with your spirit team, connect with your ancestors, connect with the trees. If you can get out into a park, if you can get out into the woods, connect. Take the time to connect, because there is so much valuable wisdom in these beings. And the thing is that these trees, every single one of them is connected to the other. If you lift up the earth, now you can see this blanket of leaves here, which is very important. Leaves are so important for the ground. And we in this modern society, you know, we rake up our leaves and we put them in the garbage and we have these lawns. But no, trees need leaves. Trees are a blanket to protect the leaves. So if you pull back the leaves and you can look at this fertile, rich soil, I bet if I dig in a bit, you can see all the roots. Look at all these little roots. See these little white, I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but I can feel them I can feel the roots ripping as I do this. So that's how connected everything is. These tiny, tiny little tendrils from these giant roots of this beautiful maple here. And the mushrooms are like the messengers. The mushrooms connect all the trees together. They're like the, what do I want to say? The merchants almost. They're the ones that, you know, take certain things from one tree and give them to another, you know, package them up and send them over. And we just have no idea the microcosmos that's beneath our feet. So group 4, I feel like Spirit is saying there is support for you. Whether you can see it or not, it is there, waiting to be accessed. Look at. Oh, look at this beautiful Amanita muscaria. Has quite a freaky name, partially because this particular mushroom is quite deadly. But it also has the potential to give you quite the odyssey, quite the journey. It is a hallucinogenic mushroom, and so, you know, sometimes they say taste it once and it could be the last time that you ever taste it, because it has the potential to kill you. But there are some brands of that mushroom, some species that you can eat. So we're not going to take any risks, but I think that mushroom is a sign, group 4, that I think it's time that you trust your spirit team. And you know what? If you have the opportunity to have a chance to go within, whether or not it's taking hallucinogens, and I'm not suggesting that you do that necessarily, I'm just suggesting take the time to go within and meet your spirit team. And if that does mean, you know, taking ayahuasca or taking, you know, mushrooms, then so be it. I am not in any way suggesting that you do that, though. I'm just saying that that is sometimes an option. Everyone experiences the other dimensions of reality in different ways. And so there are so many dimensional layers of yourself, group 4, that you're getting ready to peel away to this being, this new fresh you that's been underneath all along. Now, I'm not going to peel off the bark of this birch, because there's only certain times where you're supposed to peel bark off birch. I just saw a beautiful, beautiful butterfly. Well, I think it was a moth swimming through the forest. So that's a messenger. I tell you guys, I would look up the moth, because clearly the moth is coming to us as a symbol to take flight, I feel. Moths are drawn to a light. Moths are drawn to the spotlight. So maybe group 4, you're being told that your purpose or something about your existence is being drawn to the limelight, drawn to the spotlight, where you can share and express yourself to a large group of people. whether or not that's online, whether or not that's in person, whether or not that's through a book, sharing your wisdom. It could be through so many different things. Look at this. We've come out into the light. Oh, stunning. Should have come out here for the goldenrod group. Look at this. We're surrounded by goldenrod. You know what? That could be a sign, group 4, that you might want to go to group 2, I think was the goldenrod group. Yeah, group 2. You might be drawn to that one. And I see Aster too, so maybe group 3 too. Lots of wildflowers here. I feel like you're surrounded by abundance, group 4. You're surrounded by abundance, and it's so exciting. Spirit is saying you have the confidence, you're building up your power and your strength. And maybe this summer has been a bit tricky. Maybe this summer has, thrown you through a few loops that you weren't really ready for or prepared for. But Spirit is saying that was all necessary for you guys to be able to gain those experiences so that you can express your ultimate potential to the world. Use that solar plexus energy. I think you need to connect to your solar plexus, group 4. I really do. I think, and you chose the Primrose, which is, again, connected to the solar plexus. It is yellow after all. And even though it is very healing for like our lower abdominal and our ovaries and our reproductive system, it's very healing for that. But yeah, we are connecting to our solar plexus with this golden color. Oh my gosh, there are 2 paths. Okay, so we could keep going on this path or head back into the woods. I feel like some of you want to go into the woods. So we're going to go into the woods. Back into the darkness. Okay, I don't even have glasses on, so a lot of this is just having to be intuition because I can't even see much. But I'm just feeling it. And so I feel like maybe you guys are starting to learn to trust your intuition. Okay? And there are I'm seeing like this giant rock wall to my right here. And again, this was crafted and created by the farmers that used to live here. Well, it wasn't actually the farmers. I heard tale that it was a lot of actually kids, young kids that were put to work to harvest these stones. So I feel like there's been a lot of work that's been done, group 4, a lot of work that you've maybe been putting into yourself or into a project or into a relationship. You've put a lot of work into it. And Spirit is saying, if it's meant to be, you will know. You will intuitively know. And just because you've put a lot of work into something doesn't mean that it is actually the thing that you should keep putting your effort into. Sorry, that's coming through for a few people. I think it's called the sunken cost fallacy or something, where you put a lot of energy and time into something and then it turns out that it actually isn't going to work out, and then you feel like, oh, I should just still keep doing it even though it's not bringing you any joy or any growth anymore. So we're entering into this dark part. And you know what? If you have to let go of something, if you have to let go of a relationship, a particular way of doing things, sure, it's going to be dark for a time. But the path is open. There's no obstructions. There's no branches in the way. You will know if you are meant to take this path. You will intuitively know. And if that thing that you've been building, if those rock walls that you've been working on are actually a foundation that you've been working on to build, this reality for yourself, then that is what will hold you up. But if you've been building something that time and time again keeps falling apart, then you know that it might be time to move on and build something new. Okay? Look at this. Look at this. This wall is actually being taken apart to make a path through it. So if that resonates for some of you, I would go with it. The stones are being moved so that you can walk through this wall that you have built, okay? This wall could be an illusion in your mind, Spirit is saying. This wall doesn't have to barricade you. It doesn't have to be a prison. This wall can either be a foundation or you can be held hostage by it. You can use the wall to walk along as a path to guide you along your journey, or you can see it as an obstruction. The choice is yours. So take what path you feel resonates with you, group 4, and know that you will be met with so many different, oh my gosh, look at that. So many different guides along the way. They're there waiting to help you. Okay, so don't be afraid to reach out and ask for guidance. Your team is always there. Always there, just beneath the surface. So thank you so much, group 4, for being here and connecting with this energy. I really hope that some of it resonated with you, and if it did, please feel free to comment and share your experiences. Give us a thumbs up. It helps to connect your energy with ours, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in the next walk or the next reading. Bye.